Hi everyone, Amanda here with Crafting with Amanda. Thanks for stopping by. And today I'm kind of doing a 2-for-1. Scrapbook Addicts had this as their November inspiration sketch challenge, and it's basically a 12 by 12 with flip flaps on either side. And I found this quote this sketch on printables and creatables, freeprintables and creatables.com. And I loved how it had the quotes in it. And since I was kind of thinking about doing the night that I took our youngest to go see a Christmas Carol, or our oldest to go see a Christmas Carol at a theater, like her first live production, I just thought this would work out well. So I pulled a stock photo from the company that came and did the production, and the colors in it just work so well with this You Are Enough papers. So here I'm kind of using the sketch that you see in the upper corner, and I printed out a whole bunch of quotes from the play and the book by Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. So for my Scrapbook Addicts challenge this month with using flip flaps on a 12 by 12 layout, I cut that brochure about the Sheboygan Theater apart, and then you'll see here that I'm gonna put it on my papers, and I grabbed sangria cardstock to go with the background paper on the right from the You Are Enough papers. And then here you have to put your piece of paper in correctly so that when it folds, the front is showing. So I had to turn that around here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to shove that in, and then I'm going to make a new score mark right next to whatever width that page is. You could cut it here and do a whole bunch of fussing if you want, but really what I found that you have to do is just score the flip flap and then really burnish it down, and you need to add a strip of glue along right next to that scored edge, and otherwise that's all you have to do. So I'm going to cut these down to the 11 inches so that they're not too tall, and as you can see I used that red score line tape on these two sides, and I did the left side flap the same that I did the right, of putting the paper in and then just making the score line. And this one lays down really easy. You can see the two pieces of tape behind the plastic of the flip flaps, and then I'm just closing that flip flap at the top because I had cut it apart that was open, and it just makes it a little less bulky underneath. And then I'm using the center section as my guide for spacing, so I know how far to put the right side of this flip flap, and I'm just going to hold it down. You'll see my hand is just going to stay there so it doesn't move. I'm going to pull the protective coatings off of both of these strips of glue, and then don't do what I did. I ended up having to correct it. So I got the other strip out, but there ended up being a bubble. It was like an air pocket got trapped in, and so it wasn't going to lay flat when I closed it. So here I'm going to take I started with my piercing tool, but that just didn't work well. So then I grabbed this other tool by close to my heart, and I'm kind of just getting it under the glue, and then I'm stretching a little bit, kind of like you do with command strips, and pull it right off, but I'm not stretching it so much that glue didn't still work to hold down that flip flap. Then I add my center part back in, and life is good. So challenge met, I believe, on Scrapbook Addicts for the left side of my 2-page layout. And I just wanted to point out that on this paper that I pulled from the You Are Enough, that's kind of the cloudy with all the colors in it, I really made a choice to rotate it so that that left edge just blended in with the sangria cardstock that I pulled. So here I'm just dry fitting, auditioning different places for all the different quotes. Some of the quotes are in dark blue when I printed them, and then other quotes are in kind of a wine berry color, again to just coordinate with the colors in the project. And the ones that are in dark blue are all attributed to Ebenezer Scrooge, and so I have that little sheet on there kind of indicating that. And then the other ones that aren't in blue actually have who said the line, like the Spirit of Christmas Present talks about "come in and know me better, man," and that's all in the wine color. So I realized I needed some matting for my photo, and I wanted to pull in some of the other colors. So again, from the You Are Enough paper, I had this little scrap that has the glacier and the sapphire and all the different colors on it. And as I'm doing my layout, I'm realizing the white printed sheets are just too stark, so I need to soften them up, and that's exactly what I do, is take sangria ink and then sapphire ink and soften the edges. I'm showing you here that you can bridge the gap between the two pages. It's going to look fine. And originally I thought when I was going to cut the title that I was going to do stars as kind of my accent to decorate this page, but overnight I had a epiphany moment, and I remember it snowed on our way to the Sheboygan Opera House and on the way back. It wasn't too much to make the roads dangerous, but it was that pretty Christmas snow, I'd like to call it, where you can really see the flakes and the crystallization of them. So I thought, all right, this is what I need to do for the snowflakes. And I did include some journaling in my envelope. There's actually a pocket, and I will include my little journaling tag in there. So here I'm just taking the different snowflakes. I cut them in vellum. That's the one that kind of looks gray on the screen, but that's vellum, white daisy, glacier, and the sapphire. And the sapphire ones were all cut on the Cricut with the title, and then the rest of them were cut using the dies that were last year's snowflakes from Close to My Heart. And I'm just auditioning where different snowflakes are going to go, and I want to make sure that I have glacier on the right page and the left page, again kind of giving that balance to the layout so that your eye is drawn across the page and through all the images. But we really had a good time at this production. We still had our youngest was a baby at that time, and so I hired a babysitter for the first time. And it was at night. It was all good. He was basically a good sleeper 3 weeks in. It was amazing. So I knew everything would be fine. But I'm all of this is in the envelope that the tickets came in, talking about my anxiousness of leaving, but my excitement of introducing live theater to our daughter, and how all that went. And I do have to say that she loved live theater. It was a ballet company out of Nebraska that put on this production, and they were fantastic. But she's like, "Oh, I think I have a crush on the nephew Fred." She was really impressed with his ballet and his singing, and so it was really cute. And as I'm looking at the layout, I'm like, it needs something more, and I thought about doing gold sequins, but instead I decided it's snow and I gotta just do my acrylic paint splattering again. So I'm gonna move the layout off so I can put in my all-purpose mat here, and then you just do a little dollop of the white acrylic paint, and then I just use my paintbrush to kind of smear it off. And I didn't get enough paint the first time, so I'm going to take and add some more paint, and it's about 3 times what I did the first time, and so I'm also going to give it a lot more water, and I'm just using my toothbrush to mix it up in. And I use this toothbrush all the time. You just go back and clean it. And I didn't show it on screen, but I ended up getting too much splatter on the bottom of that page, and when it was still wet, I just kind of daubed it off, and it didn't come off completely, but it just kind of grayed it out so it didn't look too overdone. And you can look for that when I do the close-up at the end. So here's the layout. There's the interaction part. It kind of has the spirit of that other layout, and now you can kind of see some of the splatters from that white paint. And this was just a fun layout to do without any photos from our family. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, now you have that opportunity. If it's red, you need to subscribe. If it's grayed out, you've already subscribed, and thank you very much for doing that. Here's another video I think you may be interested in, and I hope you have a blessed day. Thank you.